Hey, this is Massex with a brand new Echocalypse video, and HORUS is out. So let's talk about this character. Let's look and see, because it looks like they did some tweaking to it, which is going to actually make the character a bit better for global. So let's go ahead, as you can see, a DPS, aim for weakness, the traits. Now looking at the support, the Nebu team members' armor percent goes plus 10%. And for attack support, DPS team members' attack percent gets an extra plus 10% effective when not deployed too. And we've got the attack support, all units, all team members attack plus 10% effective even when not deployed. Now the skills, okay. So we've got our first skill. HORUS harnesses the power of moonlight, dealing physical damage equal to 129% of attack to a single row of enemies, and inflicts one of the following to the target: bleed, armor break, or seal for 2 rounds. Now that is at 4 stars. At 1 star, or I should say at 0 stars, the damage, physical damage, is going to be 88%. And keep that in mind with HORUS. HORUS is one of the few DPS physical damage dealers for the game right now, so it does put some value also on this character for that reason. And at 2 stars, as you're going to see, it's just going to be the percentage of attack goes from 88% to 106 to 129 at 4 stars. Now for our next skill, we've got False Moon. The moon is enraged like HORUS, dealing 349% physical damage to a single row of enemies, and additional physical damage equal to 300% of attack to targets that have less than 4 rage. The damage inflicted on targets carrying a debuff is increased by 100%. The skill has an additional 50% attack bonus. Now that is going to be at 7 stars. If it is 0 stars, it starts off with 247% physical damage. At level 2, then it goes to 259, and the physical damage equal to 140%. When you go to 3 stars again, and so on, so it's just going to increase. But at 3 stars, though, you get that additional line of the damage inflicted on targets carrying a debuff is increased by 30%, and then that will subsequently scale as you get the stars higher. But really what makes this character so good is the passive. At the start of battle, HORUS inflicts strip on targets in the opposite row, which lasts for an entire battle. Strip before HORUS takes her first action. She absorbs 1 rage from each target in the opposite row. Now that is at tier 6. Now what makes HORUS such a solid DPS character is really the passive. Okay, basically at the start of battle, HORUS inflicts strip on the targets in the opposite row, which lasts for the entire battle. Strip before HORUS takes her action. She absorbs 1 rage from each target in the opposite row. What does that mean? Well, the opposite row, icon on the opposite row, you're shutting that icon down on that round 1. The gear set buff with this character at tier 4 get the addition of, if the total rage absorbed is 4 or more, she absorbs 1 extra rage. And at tier 6, you get the addition of increase all allies attack by 20%. But yeah, this character is going to have some legs because of what it does with the rage control. Looking at HORUS's arms, we can see black moon tides. Whenever any allied case takes action, HORUS's crit rate and crit damage increases by 10%, stacking up to 5 times. After taking action, all stacks are removed. At the start of the battle, increases HORUS's hit rate by 30% for the entire battle. So, and again, another solid arms. This can go a long way, especially with the stacking of crit rate and crit damage. So needless to say, this character, given what it brings to the field, especially with that passive and being a physical DPS, definitely ranks very high. Solid character, gonna have some legs. You're probably looking at a good 2 to 3 months of solid playability, unless they change up things. this particular character had legs in the CN version, and so I would not be shocked to see this character be on the meta for quite some time now in global. So definitely a solid pickup, especially if you're missing a really good DPS, because you're going to get that rage control plus a really solid DPS with this character. So definitely a good character to get as long as you have those DPS needs. If you're free to play and you don't have those DPS needs, let's say you went ahead and you got Icon or somebody else that you've really maxed as best you could, and that is your primary DPS, then you're going to have to take some other considerations in mind before going after this character. But given how the skill set is, and especially the fact that the passive is, you're going to have that either way, okay? So, and that passive can go a long way with doing your team builds, especially if you're looking at your opponent's team before you play them. So definitely, in my opinion, a very high tier character, probably top tier character, in my opinion at least, given the current characters we have right now for the global game. Besides that, the only really other thing that came out along with it of significance is, of course, we've got the event, and it's your standard event. They have some additional stuff in this one, like we've seen in other ones, like the little memory game, but then you have your story area as well as your tribal rival. So yeah, in the end, solid character. If you go after, you're not going to be disappointed with this character, especially with that rage manipulation. So let me know if you're pulling for this character or not. With that, as always, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot. Have a great day.